Until you are confident in who you are, people will always have control over your life. So I just had this epiphany as I was out for my morning walk at 5 a.m. And everybody thinks that's funny. That's why I always throw it in. Because they're like, why are you up that early? But I do my workouts at that time and I listen to, personal development stuff and whatever. And it helps me get my brain going. Excuse me, my voice is raspy. I'm starting to get sick. So I'm listening to an Aaron Doughty video and I love him. He has completely changed my life. What's that saying? Like, a familiar hell is better than an unfamiliar heaven or something like that. And it got me thinking about, my childhood dynamics and everything that I went through and how I was like severely controlled for the majority of my life. And in turn, I got into relationships with people or in friendships or in jobs where, I thought that life was unfair because I was always being controlled by somebody. And at 34 years old, it literally took me probably the last 6 months, if not only 3 months, to realize my worth and to step out of situations that were controlling me, that weren't serving me. It actually took me leaving a toxic job with a very toxic, authoritative figures and I left and it's funny how the universe tests you because I immediately went to another job that had a very similar dynamic and I was like, nope, I'm out. So that was my test. And then when I went to my next one, chef's kiss. I think that's important to remember is that, the universe will test you to see if you're still stupid. I had very long friendships that, in the end, I would do nice things for them and, take them out for dinner. And, they would literally look at me and be like, I'm just going to order this and this and this, and you should pay for it because you're the one working and I'm not. And it got my brain thinking, and I'm like, are you crazy? Like, I'm here doing you a nice, like, not even a favor, but I'm doing something nice for you because I love you. And I'm telling you, like, of course, you can have whatever you want, but like, don't throw it in my face and say I should do it. Like, I have to do it and make me feel like you're controlling me in some way. Or either other situations where I was invited to weddings and then I, asked, oh, hey, who's going to be doing like, the hair and the makeup and XYZ and whatever. And, the person was like, well, you are. And I'm like, aren't I, aren't I standing in your wedding? Like, what do you mean? Like, you never even asked me. Oh, well, you should do it. What? And then there are other situations where, people are not so upfront and blunt like that. They'll be more passive aggressive, such as my ex, who would literally control everything in my life, but then not say anything. Like, he knew I hated the silent treatment and it would bother me, but he would do it purposefully. There were even times as of recent where I would be busy and I wouldn't be able to text him back right away, and it would take, like, let's say 2 hours to text him back. And he would go forward to text me back. And I brought that up one time and he laughed because he's like, yeah, yeah, I do. I do that. It's funny you picked that up. And I'm like, are you kidding? Or I would call him out and be like, you used me for so many years. Like, what the hell? Like, this is proof. The proof is in the pudding. And he'd be like, well, you know what? I don't use you anymore. What? I beg your finest pardon? And you know what? That was the end of it for me because I'm like, you know what? I'm giving you the power to use me. I'm giving these friends the power to use me. I was giving my parents the power to use me. And all of it stems down to control. They just want to control you. And I gave up the mentality of saying to myself, why me? What am I doing wrong? Like, why am I such a victim to all of this? How am I hurting these people that make them want to hurt me so bad? Why am I not worthy of just being treated like a decent human being? Because that's how I treat other people. I don't treat people bad. I don't use people. I don't hurt people. I would never go out of my way to hurt somebody because I wouldn't sleep. And yes, you can take accountability in the sense that, like, okay, yeah, there's a reason you're attracting these types of people and you're allowing it for a reason. But in the same sense, these people are only operating at the level that they physically can only operate at. They're working with the skills They're using the tools that they have in their toolbox. And that's kind of where you can have compassion and empathy for other people and realize that, maybe they had really bad childhood dynamics that, they feel the need to project onto you. But then that takes you out of the equation. You can steal your energy back from them and or not have them take it in the first place. Excuse me. And say, this is not my fault. This is their shit, not mine. I don't act like that. And if they want to act like that, that's fine. But they're not going to act like that towards me. So once you gain like a strong frame of mind and knowing, going through these circumstances and seeing these red flags and recognizing it and saying, like, hey, that's their shit. It's not me. Cut off those, people right away and get them out of your life or set a boundary if you can't take them out of your. Like I'm in a situation right now where, I'd like to be completely just cut off from my ex. I don't want him to have any control over me anymore. But we're still married, and I've asked him numerous times over the years to get divorced. And even with him being in another relationship, he just ignores my requests. And I think it's just to control me, right? Just to have that little thing because I want it. He just wants to control my life. And I'm looking at it from a new perspective of, you know what? When it's meant to happen, when things are going to happen and things are like when we do get divorced, it'll happen the way that it should, whether he likes it or not. But still, in doing that, I still pull my power back because that means that I just go on with my life, continue on the way that I'm continuing, and focus on what I want to focus on. And realize that, this marriage has no effect on my life. And it hasn't since we've been separated for 2 years, but have been in no contact for like 3 weeks. But the moral of the story is that, you don't have to give people the power over you. Once you learn that your power is your own and that it's in yourself, other people can't take it from you. Like, if I never get divorced, then that's fine. It is what it is, and that's what it was meant to be. That still doesn't mean that I have to let him have any power over my life whatsoever. And I don't. Being still married to this person doesn't mean that I am any less happy in my life. It hinders me in literally no way. I guess before it was just kind of like I felt like there was like an energetic tie there from being, married to this person legally. But I realized that that's not even a thing. It literally does not affect my daily life whatsoever. And just because he wants to be like controlling like that, it doesn't have any effect on me and who I am. And I offered. I've been asking for 2 years, so it is what it is. I don't give people power over me in any way, shape, or form. Not my friends, not my employers, not my partners, nobody. Nobody has control. I do what I want to do, and I don't have control over anybody else. I don't even control my kids because they are their own people. They will do what they want to do, whether I like it or not. And that to me has given me so much peace. Just because it feels familiar from your childhood to be controlled or to be in a certain kind of familiar dynamic does not mean that you have to continue it throughout the rest of your life. You can be in your own frame and do your own thing. And that's honestly the whole purpose, because if you don't do that, then the universe is going to keep giving you lessons, and they're going to get harder and harder and harder, and they're going to cause more and more and more pain until you get it. And I, for one, am just so thankful that, I learned this at such a young age. Then having, because then I can teach these lessons to my children or to you or to, my clients or whoever wants to listen. Consider myself a lucky one because not everybody gets to learn their lessons, and they just live in this loop for literally however many years that they live. And, that's how you break free of these similar patterns.